Okay, Papa Pimp has a rap that we made for him because you see him anywhere when he's off at the gas station, anywhere on the street. So it goes, Papa Pimp, he walks with a limp, he rides on the boat, he catches lots of shrimp. He talks to the ladies that he thinks are fine, and he always makes them lose their mind. Now sit right back, this pimp's real cute, and if he don't like you, he'll give you the boot. Papa always wore alligator boots, he loved them. He loved everybody. Everybody he met, he was instantly their friends. He really enjoyed life and just people, cars. He loved taking rides wherever. He'd take you on the same ride 1,000 times. And, oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. And you know what? That was the best times ever. He'd always take his boat out. Let's go for a boat ride. And he'd take us here and he'd take us there and show us all kinds of different things. And, you know, he loved all of the grandkids, all of his kids, his great-grandkids. He was always there for all of us. All we had to do was pick up the phone, and he was there in a heartbeat. He saved me offside the road. I think he saved everybody almost offside the road. He let you borrow, if you were without a vehicle, he'd let you borrow his vehicle. You know, he'd give you the shirt off his back. He was just a great man, and we'll all really miss him. My kids miss him, everybody. So thank y'all all for coming out, and y'all have a great time. We love all of y'all.
Good job.
This is the last time you are publicly going to get to thank Mr. Eddie, to remember him, to tell your story about Mr. Eddie. Please come up and share with us. Everybody, anybody?
Go on.
Everybody's got a story.
You can do it.
Everybody else
Try, you can do it.
She's been debating going back.
Doesn't matter.
With the proper attire, by that. Good shirt.
Okay, my story's kind of short and sweet. We only met Mr. Eddie and Miss Patty a couple times, but they made a huge impact on our life. They welcomed us into their family like nobody I've ever met before. And he's gonna be missed. I just want to tell Lori and Billy and Nikki and Brandon how much we love you. And I know in your hearts you carry the love that he had for everybody. All these stories that I'm hearing is so heartwarming, and my only regret is that I didn't get to know him as long as everyone else did. But just that short amount of time, he gave us the biggest hugs and welcomed us into his family. And we're gonna stay in touch with you, Miss Patty. We love you so much. We will not forget you. Thank you.
You did good, man.
You're very good.
You didn't say about the weenie dogs.
Yeah, you said the weenie
You didn't say about the weenie dogs.
So, my grandfather was one of the best men that I've ever known. You know, he was very kind, like everybody's saying. He knew everybody by their first names, and just after the first time you met him, he would love everybody, you know, unconditionally. And one of the greatest memories I've had is one summer we came and lived out here. Me, Brandon, Nikki, Holly. We all came and stayed out here for the summer, and it was, you know, one of the greatest memories I'll ever remember. And we went parasailing. You know, he took us to Hooters a lot. That was one of the things I remember is one time they were saying that he loved women. He's like, you know, watch me pick up this lady, and there was a French fry on the ground, and he picked it up, and he said, you know what, lady, I just saved your life. 5 minutes later, she was sitting on his lap, and you know, I learned to pick up women from my grandfather. You know, he was one of the greatest men I've ever known. He loved everybody unconditionally, everybody, and you know, I can't say much more, but he was an amazing person. And I know he's looking down on us today, and he sees how happy everybody is. So.
Yeah. Just hold it, Mom.
I want to thank everybody for coming out here today and celebrating my dad's life with my family. My dad met each and every one of you, and I'm sure, just like all the stories that have been shared today, he told everyone the same thing when he met him. You know, you're welcome in my home. Anything I can do for you, you can, just call me. You know, first time I meet you, this is where I live. When we went in Birmingham, the doctors would come in the room, and he wanted to talk and talk and talk and talk. We'd keep him in there 20, 30 minutes, and we'd say, Edwin, you gotta let him go. You're not their only patient. And, he wanted them. If you're ever down in past Christiane, Mama can vouch for it. You come on down and you see us and you can stay, wherever, you're welcome, whatever. And they'd say, okay, Mr. Otis, okay. And they'd come back 2 days later, it'd be telling them the same darn thing again. I know today he's very happy because of so many people that came out for the celebration of his life, and he's also very happy for these young ladies that have been behind us because everyone knows already that my dad loved ladies, and he always called them their beckonees. Instead of their bikinis, they were in their beckonees. And the last time we were out here before he passed, there was a few little ladies out there, and I said, we had him in the wheelchair, and he was sitting in the wheelchair looking that way at him. And I said, Daddy, what you looking at? He said, the itty bitty titty committee. So he did get a little enjoyment from that. And also the last week of his life, he also got to drive, I don't know where he is, Mr. Bill and Miss Lucy. He drove them around in the boat. That was one of the last things that he got to enjoy, and he was very happy and excited to do it. It really just made his day. And Miss Lucy didn't want to go.
No,
Mama
she
told
didn't.
her this may be his last boat ride, and she doesn't usually ever get on the boat. And she got on the boat that day. Now, I'm not going to tell you that the people who were on the boat weren't scared the way Daddy was driving, because he really didn't know what he was doing. But he enjoyed himself, and that was what he always liked to do, was have a good time and enjoy himself. And he told me when I came to see him, I forget when it was, a couple of days before he passed, that I got to drive the boat, and he was excited about it. And there's a lot of people sitting out here today that on our long trips to Birmingham with him, that he would talk about different people that are sitting out here, and thought very highly of those people, that he never talked ugly about anybody. It was always something good he had to say or some memory. And in his last few months, I'd say a year, maybe 6 months, he did a lot of talking sometimes on the way to Birmingham, and everything was nothing recent. Everything was back in the day. Just different people that he has touched his life that are out here today, and he would share stories with us in the car. Sometimes we'd say, Dad, just go to sleep. But, because he went on and on, but, that was Daddy. But I know that he's happy today, seeing Daddy. Everybody come out here for him, and there's lots of food, and I know almost probably each and every one of you, the people who knew him very closely in the last few years, have heard him say that this is what he wanted. He did not want people to cry over him. He wanted a celebration of life. And that's what we given him. The first time he told it to me, he said, you know what I want when I die? And I said, what's that, Daddy? He said, I want to have a party. I want music. I want anything that's any seafood that's in season. I want it cooked, and I want everybody to come out on my property, and I want to have a party. I said, okay, Daddy. He goes, no, I'm serious. I said, I know, Dad, I got that. But he told, even our not our, but Mama's mailman here, I went out to get the mail the other day, and he said, are you Eddie's daughter? And I said, I am. And he said, we talked for a moment, and I said, well, we're having a celebration of his life. Why don't you come out on Saturday? And he said,
you having a party? And I said, yeah. And he said, well, that's exactly what he wanted. That was the mailman. Now the one man is here. Well, he was here. And the, I think he's a security man.
The sheriff.
The sheriff back there in the back. I know all of those people who he always liked to talk to and spend time with, that he's also shared that same story with. So today I know he's very happy, and I'm thankful that the rain held off all of this, and I hope everybody has a good time and enjoys themselves. Thank y'all for coming.
Hi, I'm Ava. I'm John Russell's daughter. I've known Mr. Eddie since I was little. Every time I came down here to the coast with my mama, my papa, and my sister, he and Miss Patty would always be the first people to come say hello to us. He'd talk for a few minutes and he'd go. And every time we wanted to go in the party bar, just like my mama and a lot of other people said, if Papa wasn't up to it or he was tired, Mr. Eddie would always offer. And we would all say thank you, but I really wish that I would have thanked him a lot more than I did. Because I didn't realize how good a man he was. He was loving, he was reliable, he was a very good man. Thank you.
I just talked to Pastor. He's about 10 minutes away. What everybody is saying about how Eddie always talked to everybody, I don't know the whole gist of the story, but I remember he had met a man at a boatyard one time, and of course he offered him his home, anything you need, anything, you know, the whole gist of everything everybody's saying. But then Eddie got ill one time. I don't know what happened, but he ended up in Jackson, right, Patty?
Yeah, he had a heart attack.
He had a heart attack. He ended up in Jackson. And I think Patty or somebody said, the guy said, if you're ever up in Jackson, you ever need anything, call me. So he's up there in almost critical condition. And all of a sudden they call this guy and just say, we're up here, we may need your help. And all of a sudden Eddie is getting VIP help from everywhere and anywhere. And the nurse says to Patty, how do you know this guy? Well, my husband met him at the boatyard. He was the CEO of the hospital. Now, what the lesson there, people, is always talk to everybody, always be kind to everybody. You know, because I tell you, it's just.
That same man met me at the front door. I never knew him, and gave me the key to his home. And my family stayed in his home the whole time my dad was in the hospital.
Did you hear what she said? The gentleman met her at the door of the hospital, gave Lori and her family the keys to his home, and said, you stay here as long as your father is in the hospital. And these two men met one time. You know, that's a great lesson we got to learn from Eddie. I can't even begin to tell you the lessons I've learned from Eddie, just watching him and admiring him. I mean, he has kissed more hands than anybody I've ever known. It's just his forte with women. Hey, beautiful. Hey, beautiful. You know, and I can't do that. I mean, my wife won't let me do it. But gosh, just the rapport he had with people, you know. And again, I want to reiterate that is God's plan for us all here on earth, is to love one another. And Eddie was just a walking, talking apostle, you know. And please, some people come up here and burn about 9 more minutes. Ben will be here shortly. It's going to be your last chance to say goodbye to Eddie, guys. May the guilt trip be yours. All right, my main man. This is Zane. Miss Sharky's our grandson next door.
I lived right by Eddie on the house next door for about a year, and I didn't see him too often, but when he would come over to Lucy, when we would go over, he would come sometimes and we would say hi, and he always asked how we were doing, and he was a really nice guy, and know everybody misses him a lot, and I miss him a lot too.
I can't believe I came up because I can't keep my tears in. My husband and I, about a year and a half ago, we're moving here from South Carolina, and we were riding around looking for a place to live and a place to buy a lot and build a house. And we just happened to ride through this neighborhood, and there was this man standing out in his front yard. And Ella said, he looks like somebody who would be friendly and we could ask about the neighborhood. So we stopped, and probably an hour later we got away from Eddie, and we knew about everybody in the neighborhood and every lot and anything we needed to know. And he's the reason we live here. We decided to buy a lot right down the street because we thought, well, this is a really great neighborhood and we'll have a really, really wonderful neighbor. And he was. And we miss him a lot.
How y'all doing? I'm Rob. Mr. Eddie was... There's not enough words in the human language to say things about the value and the character of this person. Diamonds like him only get cut once in a lifetime, you know? Came from a rough place, and he made me feel better about who I was. And he showed me that family is supposed to be there for each other, and that the way things were for me isn't the way it is for everyone. And he gave me a beautiful brand new family that cares for me, and I care for them, and I'm so thankful for the gifts that he's given me. Like it was said before, he never had a stranger, he never had anything bad to say about anyone. I think the best thing he had to give as far as advice to anyone is to stay lighthearted and always look at the good things instead of the bad. I know I'm sure gonna miss him, because he did a lot of things for me that I can't even put into words. Thank you, Eddie.
Good job, Robbie. She's crying. It's okay to cry.
Folks, Pastor Ben from the Well will be here in the next 10 minutes. Everyone want to go refreshing their drinks, maybe grab a quick bite to eat, and just gather back here in about 10 minutes. And Ben will be here for the blessing. Thanks.